is essential today. Hi besties, welcome back to my channel. My name is Corinne and I'm so happy you're here today. We are going to be picking my March TBR. So I've seen this concept floating around YouTube for quite a while. I'm pretty sure Rachel Catherine invented it, where you use prompts to pick your TBR for the month to help reduce your physical TBR. So I've made a little jar and I have a really small mason jar and it's the cutest thing ever. And I've printed out about 30 prompts. Hopefully, I have a book for all of the prompts, but I really didn't check when I was making them. I thought they just sounded like fun prompts. So if we can't find something, we'll make it work, or we'll choose another one. The reason I wanted to do something like this is because I made it a goal of mine in 2024 to get my physical TBR down to 24 books or less. On my TBR cart alone, I have 43 books that I own and have not read. The whole point of a TBR card. Way to mansplain. We need more caffeine, clearly. With 43 books on here alone, plus the entire Harry Potter series, I really wanted to work on getting my physical TBR down, and I thought one great way to do that would be building my monthly TBRs around what I already have. Insert TBR jar. I am going to choose a prompt and find a book on my TBR cart that fits that prompt. So we're gonna shake it and then we're gonna choose a prompt. So prompt number 1, it chose itself. So prompt number 1, I'm scared of this one. The oldest book on my physical TBR. So let's go through some of the oldest books I have on here. The first one that comes to mind is Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Garmis. I got this book for Christmas from my mom in 2022. So I've had it on my TBR cart for a year and 2 months now. Another one that's been on my shelf for a really long time is Family of Liars by E. Lockhart. It's the prequel to We Were Liars, which I read in 2021. So that's actually one of the first books I bought when I started getting back into reading. So that's a really old one as well. I think the only other one that really fits this prompt specifically is Clockwork Angel by Cassandra Clare, because I bought this at Half Price Books probably a year or so ago. But I think I'm going to have to choose between one of these two, because I think I've had them on there for months longer than Clockwork Angel. I think I'm going to choose Family of Liars because it is really short and it's been a really long time since I read We Were Liars, and frankly, it'd be nice to be able to put this with that other book. Okay, second prompt is also, if you couldn't tell how long I've had that on my TBR, it is the Barnes & Noble exclusive hardcover. So it's definitely been on there for a while because it's been sold in paperback for how long now? Anyway, besides the point, our second prompt is the next book in a series I've started. This is a contender. This is, I think we're going to have to go with that one. Here's what I'm debating between. I could either do The Way I Am Now by Amber Smith, which is the second book to The Way I Used to Be. But the other book I'm debating between is Daisy Hates the Great Undoing, simply because I'm already going to read this. Because I am in the middle of The Long Way Home right now, and I am thoroughly obsessed with the series. I cannot stop thinking about these characters. And I'm like, well, I'm already going to read it anyway. Might as well stick it on the TBR. But I've got other prompts that this one could fit too. So, you know what? Just to make it more fun for everyone, we're going to do The Way I Am Now. Okay. Prompt number 3 is a book that was on my TBR last month that I didn't read. Listen, I actually did decent with my February TBR. But there were a few books that I did not get to because I ended up picking up the Magnolia Park series and can't read anything else right now. So here's our contenders for that. We could do Powerless by Lauren Roberts, which I still really want to read that book, especially with the sequel coming out in a few months and the novella coming out in April. That's high on my list here. The other ones I didn't get to were Hello Beautiful, Happy Place, and The Twin. That's a clear choice for me. I have to do Powerless by Lauren Roberts. There's not another book that's standing out to me the way this one does. I was really sad that I didn't read this in February. But I did want to wait till a little bit closer until the new releases came out before starting it. So I am glad I get to do it this month. Okay, 4th prompt. I said we were going to do, what, 7 or 8? It's kind of a lot. We'll do 7. We'll do 7. Okay, so prompt number 4 is a book that's my favorite genre. If you couldn't tell, my favorite genre is fantasy. I don't know how you would know that. I've never said that. I go back and forth between romance and fantasy, but combine the two, make it a romantasy, and that is top tier. So, I don't have a lot of fantasies on my cart for whatever reason, but here are the couple that I would like to get to soon. The Shadows Between Us by Trisha Levenseller. My sister-in-law read this and loved it, but the second book comes out in July, I think, so I kind of want to wait a little bit to read that. So I think that's going to go back on the shelf for this month. But then I also want to read Kingdom of the Wicked by Carrie Maniscalco. I think this is fantasy, isn't it? Yes, this is fantasy. So this is going to be our favorite genre pick. Honestly, if I hadn't already picked Powerless, I would have picked Powerless for this prompt. But alas, here we are. We are doing Kingdom of the Wicked. We could have also done The Grace here, but I think it's more dystopian. I've read the first 100 pages and then I just never picked it back up. But that is one I would like to get to soon, just to finish it and get it off my TBR. We could have also picked Harry Potter, but I kind of want to wait until April to start this series. Prompt number 5 is going to be, drumroll please. I'm not actually going to do a drumroll. Oh, I dropped it. Okay, prompt number 5 is a new genre. Let's see, I pretty much only read 3 genres. We've got fantasy, romance, and mystery thrillers. So a new genre for me would be historical fiction, which I actually picked one up the other day. I picked up The Alice Network by Kate Quinn at Half Price Books because my sister-in-law said it's one of her favorite books ever, and she loves historical fiction. I could add this. You could also read Lessons in Chemistry for this, though, too. This is also, historical fiction type, I think, isn't it? I am going to go ahead and choose The Alice Network just because I just bought it. And if you know, you know, but when you just buy a book, it always sounds so much better than the books that have been sitting on your shelf for a year plus. So, we're adding The Alice Network by Kate Quinn to the March TBR. Okay, second to last prompt. It's so sad that it's almost over because this is actually, it's so fun just to pick it out and then pick a book that matches the prompt. Okay, but prompt 6 is a book that came out in 2024. (2020) 2018, 2021. This will be such a good palette cleanser between all these fantasies, historical fiction. I've come to this conclusion. We're going to do Magnolia Park's Into the Dark because all I have left to get to this one is Daisy Hates the Great Undoing. And like I said, I'm going to read it anyway, so why not put this one on my TBR? Because then I have to read both of these. I am absolutely terrified for what this book contains based on what I'm experiencing in The Long Way Home. Cheers to emotional damage. It's going on the TBR. We have one last prompt. Better make it a good one, I guess. Okay. A book that scares me. Like, not like horror scary, but like one that I've been putting off because I'm scared to read it. And that could be because it's hyped up, one that like I don't know anything about, one that it's just been sitting on my TBR for a really long time. This one just kept coming up throughout today's entire video, so I think it only makes sense to put this on my March TBR. You wanna know something really funny? You know how I know that this book has been sitting on my shelf for a really long time? We did a bunch of renovations in our house about a year ago, and part of those renovations meant sanding all the walls because we did a lot of filler on the walls. And with that came sand on my books. And this one is still very sandy and dusty. So she's gonna need a little bath, a little dusting before we pick her up. So just to recap, we chose 7 books off of my TBR cart for my March TBR, and I apologize deeply that I did not explain what any of these books are about. But it's mostly because I don't know, frankly. I don't know what these books are about because I like to go into books blind. That is all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for hanging out. Thanks for picking my TBR with me, and please hold me accountable to read these books. Let me know if you've read any of these books that I just picked because I really need some motivation to actually pick them up. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I love you all. Please like, subscribe, comment. We're gonna grow this channel together, and I appreciate every single one of you that clicks on all my videos. Love you. Bye.